In this lecture of object-oriented programming with C++, today we will discuss the third part of constructor subtopic, that is constructor overloading. So this is also very important from coding point of view. So as we have already discussed function overloading in the previous video lecture, the same concept is also applicable in constructor part, because constructor is also one member function which has the same name as of the class. So basically, when more than one constructor are defined in a class, it is known as constructor overloading. We know that multiple function with same name and with different parameters, different number of parameter are overloaded. Similarly, here also when more than one constructor, and obviously the constructor have the same name, are defined in a class, it is known as constructor overloading. All the constructor are defined with the same name as the class name. All the constructor have different number of arguments also, because the compiler need to differentiate between the constructor based on their number of arguments they are taking, and depending upon the number of arguments the compiler executes the appropriate constructor. If the constructor is having two number of argument, that particular constructor will execute. If the constructor is having one number argument, so will compiler will distinguish that particular constructor function and it will execute that particular uh, part only. So based on the number of argument of the constructor, it will be differentiated. So in this right hand side you can see here a very simple example I have given. For the class demo, in the public, all the constructor I have taken here, three number of constructor I have taken. All these three constructor have same name, that is demo, which is the class name also. In the first constructor there are two variable, in the second constructor one variable, in the third constructor three variable are there. They are differentiated in terms of their number of arguments they are taking, and all are parameterized constructor here. And let's discuss one very simple and short example regarding the constructor overloading. So here we have taken the class complex. In the private, real and imaginary value are taken. In the public, complex constructor is there, which is taking one argument for initializing the value for real and imaginary value. Similarly, second constructor complex is initializing the real and imaginary value, and it is two number of argument, integer a and b. One function we have taken, that is subtraction function, because we are doing the subtraction of two complex number here. So subtraction function, member function we have taken void subtract, void sub function. It is taking complex type argument or class type argument, and we are doing this subtraction for respective object we have received. And one another member function, show function, to display the output in a means complex number format we have taken, and we have closed the class. After closing the class, main function is there. In the main function, p1 object is created. So inside p1 object we have passed one value 5. So 5 value we have passed as an argument here. So constructor will see that one argument constructor is there. So compiler will search for that particular type constructor, and this I value will be assigned to 5, and real and imaginary for p1 object will be initialized with the value 5 here. Real equal to 5, imaginary equal to 5. Second type constructor P2 is created, initialized with two number of parameter 3 and 2. So when the compiler will read this statement, these two parameters will be passed to the constructor complex, second type of constructor, because it is accepting two number of argument. So 2 and 3 value are assigned to A and B, and A and B value will assign to the real value and imaginary value. So for the object P2, real equal to 3 and imaginary value equal to uh, 2 are initialized. third type constructor is being created, P3. So P3 dot sub function is called, and inside the sub function two object P1 and P2 are passed. So the sub function will accept P1, P2 class type argument. So the complex C1 and C2 will accept one copy of P1 and P2. All the details of P1 and P2 are passed here. So the real and imaginary value we will calculate by subtraction, real to real subtraction and imaginary to imaginary value subtraction. Real equal to C1 dot real. The value of real value we have received for the C1 object, that is 5, minus C2 dot real. From the object C2, the real value is we have received is 3, and similarly for imaginary C1 dot img we have received 5, C2 dot img we have received 2 here. So after subtraction, real value will become 2 and imaginary will become 3 here. When we call the show function P3 dot show, it will show you the output whatever the P3 has contained after doing the subtract value, that is 2 and 3. So 2 plus 3i we will receive in the output statement in the form of a complex format. So this is how the same name of complex or same name of constructor is being used, having different number of argument with different type of argument, but the name of the constructor is same, name of the function is same here. So this is the application of, this is the use of function overloading using constructor. In the next video lecture we will see about dynamic constructor, and later we will discuss about destructor. Thank you.